Are you looking to make money from your art? Let's discuss all the ways that you can do that. Hey creatives, welcome or welcome back. I'm Michelle, and if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I've just gotten into art this year. And one of my main objectives getting back into art is to figure out ways that I can monetize my art and make an income from it to eventually start living as a full-time artist. So today I want to discuss 14 different ways that you can make an income from your art. So you might just be looking for a side hustle, a little way to make some extra spending money from your art. Or like me, you might be trying to grow it as a full-time income. So there are a lot of ways that we can utilize our art that we've created and make an income from it. So let's dive into the 14 ways that you can make an income from your art. So I'm just going to go briefly through all of the 14 ways. I'm not going to dive too deeply because I don't want this video to get too long. But if there are any of these ways that you're interested in, that you want to know more about, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to make more dedicated videos, more details and in-depth on any of these ways that you're really interested in trying to make money with your art. Okay, the number one way is pretty obvious. It's original artwork. So everyone that's making art is making original art, whether it's on canvas, on paper, whether you're painting on or drawing on a product of any kind. That's the number one way that you're going to make art, is by selling your originals. All right, number two would be custom art and commissions. So this is where somebody commissions you to make a piece of original art specifically for them with a specific set of instructions. So whether that is personal portraits, pet portraits, you might be doing drawings, paintings, illustrations of any of these things. It could be for special occasions like maybe engagements or babies. Some people might want custom pictures of their homes or houses. It can be murals or any kind of customized products that you're selling. You could be doing maybe custom ornaments with people's faces or pets or homes on them, or any kind of item that you can paint or draw on that you can do custom artwork for, specifically for people. That can make you a lot of money. You can spend all your time just doing custom commissioned artwork. That's another great way to make money from your art. Number three is digital downloads, printables, and templates. So this can really cover a really broad range of products. So anything from downloadable files of your wall art, greeting cards, calendars. You can do coloring pages. You can add your own decorative art to like different kinds of templates, like to-do list, planners, anything that you can create a template from and sell to people. You could put your own art on and sell it that way. Kids activity pages, anything like that, where you can just create a printable, put it online, and people can purchase it and download it. So you can also create SVG files from your art, which is digitizing it into basically a transparent background that people can buy your images from, and then they can use it in their own projects or artwork. So I mean, you can see that the possibilities for digital downloads or printables is endless. Like anything that you can create, you can sell as a digital download or printable. So there's a ton of stuff that you can do online with digital artwork, and it can also become a really great way of making passive income with your art, because once you've created it one time, you can sell it unlimited number of times to unlimited number of people. So it's a great way to make some extra income with your artwork. It does usually sell for a smaller amount, but if you are selling a lot of it, then you can make a really good amount of passive income, which can add up over time if you have lots of products. So number 4 is print on demand. This kind of takes your digital art a step further. So whether instead of people just downloading the file, they are actually purchasing a physical product from your items, but you aren't physically having to do anything. You're going to set up these print on demand listings with print on demand providers where you are creating the listing with your artwork, and when someone purchases it, it goes straight to a manufacturer, a third-party manufacturer that will then print your artwork onto whatever product it is that you want to sell, and then they will make it and ship it directly to the customer. So there's tons and tons of different things that you can now sell that's print on demand. So, I mean, starting off with things like your art as printable wall art. So if you don't want to sell your own prints, then you can just download the digital files, create a listing with it, and someone can purchase it, and a company, print on demand company, will then make the print for you, ship it to your customer. So not only can you do just your original wall art, but you can do things like calendars, greeting cards, any kind of apparel you can imagine, from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, leggings, like you name it. Any kind of apparel you can actually do print on demand. There's some great gift ideas like mugs, tote bags, mouse pads. You can get into creating print on demand fabric, which you can then put, like, people could buy just the fabric, or you can like print on a lot of different kinds of fabric, like shower curtains, carpets, you name it. There's a ton. You have to research all the print on demand companies that are out there, and I could make an entire video just on print on demand. But if you want to get your art onto products but you don't want to manufacture it yourself, print on demand is a great way to kind of get started in the business and try it out, see how your artwork looks on products, see what sells. And it's, yeah, just a great way to kind of test the waters and get started and create what is basically a passive income. Because again, just like the digital downloads, once you create your listings, you don't really have to do anything with it, unless you are creating custom listings that you might have to customize with, say, a name or date or something. Then you might have to get involved with each separate listing, with each separate sale. But for the most part, a digital, print on demand is you set it up once, and then you don't really have to worry about it. You can get orders in your sleep that get fulfilled by the manufacturer, the print on demand company, and you don't have to do anything else with it. So it's another great way to create some passive income, an additional layer to your monetization of your art, and something that I highly suggest. Number 5 would be to manufacture your own products. So if you don't want to do print on demand, because there are some drawbacks to print on demand, you can't control the quality, you can't brand your products, you can't control how the customer is receiving your product. You might want to have more control over that. So you might want to decide that you want to manufacture your own products. So this could be done one of two ways, where you can actually hand make your own products, or you can go to a manufacturer and have them make your products for you. So this is where you're putting your art on any kind of product that you want to sell. It could be, again, you could have a printer manufacture your art prints, which you then send out. So then you're controlling the quality of the paper, how the people are getting it shipped to them. You can include your own branding. If you want to include bonuses or freebies in with your packaging, then you have the ability to do that. You can print your own, have printed greeting cards, calendars, notepads, stickers, pins, any kind of apparel, tea towels, tote bags, aprons, pillows, blankets, anything on fabric. It's endless. Any kind of product that is out there, that you can purchase in any kind of store is something that you can make. If that's something, if you find a product that's really special to you that you've just always wanted to have made with your artwork on it, there's a way to have it made. So that's another one that I could do a whole video on. But it's another great income stream. It does require you to have more space because you're going to be keeping inventory, and you are also paying up front for a lot of well, for pretty much everything. If you want to have it manufactured, then you are going to have to pay out of your pocket to have the stuff made up front, and then hopefully this is stuff that you can sell down the road. So the cons to this is that you are sitting on inventory, and if you end up making someone that no one wants, you might get stuck with some things that you have trouble selling. So I would suggest only manufacturing stuff once you've maybe tried print on demand versions of it, or you find a manufacturer that you can make small quantities of, which might cost more in the beginning, but you can then have proof if something is actually a good seller and you want to go ahead and have a lot more quantities made. So manufacturing your own products, definitely great. Again, you can control the branding, you can control the quality, how it looks, how it's shipped to your customers, and all that stuff. So it definitely has its pros and cons. Number 6 would be in-person markets or pop-up shops. So if you are someone that does sell physical products, whether it's stuff you've made yourself or you had manufactured, or you're selling even your original art, it's a great idea to, if you like to meet people in person and sell in person, to get booths at any of the local or far away, I guess, if you feel like traveling, any of the markets, whether it's just an art market, whether it's a handmade craft show, whether it's a holiday gift show, any kind of market where people are buying products, you can then get a booth and set up a cute booth and sell all the things that you're making with your artwork. It's also a great way to build your customer base. People might not buy from you that day, but they might take your card, or they might, get your Instagram and start following you, and they might be a customer down the road. So it's just a great way to like build your business and build your clientele, and it's something that I recommend. It might be hard for people that are a little more introverted, but you might find that you actually like talking to the customers, and you might find it an enjoyable experience. So I think it's something that everybody could do at least once and try it out and see how it goes. Number 7 would be to have your own website, of course. So having your own website, again, there's pros and cons. If you are technically savvy at all, or even just a little bit, the places where you can build your own website right now are pretty easy to do compared to how they were like 10 years ago even. So you can go somewhere like Shopify or Squarespace or Wix, or like the dozens of other places where you can go to build your own website. A lot of them are pretty much drag and drop these days. If you are not inclined to do all the setting up of a website, you can also hire people to do it for you, so that you don't have to worry about that part if you struggle with like the setting up of, and the technical side of setting up a website. If you have the time, I highly recommend learning how to do it, because it's good for you to know how to make changes to your website, what things are possible that you can put on your website, and just to have that control over like updating it constantly. But if you don't have the time or the inclination, you can definitely hire someone to set up your website for you. And I would do some research on which place you think is better. I think the most popular places are probably like Shopify and Squarespace right now, and there's pros and cons to both. I'm not going to get into it all again right now, but you can go on YouTube, has a lot of creators that do talk about the pros and cons to all the different places you can host your own website. But the best thing about having your own website is that you can control what people are seeing, what you have available, where they can buy it from. You own your own audience and clientele, so you can build your mailing lists and newsletters so that clients have a way to purchase your items. They know what's going on from you. Like if you're on somewhere that's like an online marketplace, which we'll discuss next, you don't have control over that. So having your own website is a great way to always be able to get in contact with your clients, and give them, like, let them know when you've launched something new or there's new products or you have a sale going on. You just have total control over your audience, your products, the setup. You don't have to pay fees to anyone when you sell something, except obviously you're paying to host your website, so that's going to be a monthly cost for you. But there are pros and cons to all of it. But I think every artist that is trying to monetize and sell things should definitely consider their own website when they are at a level that they feel that that's right for them in their business. So number 8 would be online marketplaces. If you're not in a position to set up your own website, a great way to get started for new entrepreneurs, new businesses, new artists is definitely to utilize all the online marketplaces. So the biggest one you've probably heard of is something like Etsy. So starting off with an Etsy shop, I think, is a great way to dip your toes in the water to see if you like selling your art in many of the different ways, without having to set up your whole website or do anything crazy. The cost, like the barrier to entry, is very low. It's basically just your time setting it up and like 25 cents per listing for each one that you upload. So, and you don't pay, well, you pay again every time you sell it. You do have fees based on what you sell, but I think for the exposure that you get, because Etsy does bring the sellers to you, you don't have to necessarily advertise your stuff. I think it's helpful to drive your own traffic as well, but Etsy does have clientele that comes specifically to Etsy to buy things there. So you already have exposure to all the clients that they are paying marketing to have come in and shop with their Etsy sellers. So besides Etsy, you'll find marketplaces like Redbubble, Society6, Spoonflower, and I know there's a ton more that are always coming and going. So just Google online marketplaces for selling items and you're going to get a whole list of places where you can sell online that's not necessarily your own website. Number 9 is to sell your products wholesale. So if you are manufacturing your own products, whether you're making them yourself or you're going to a third-party manufacturer to make your products for you, and you don't necessarily want to sell it at retail, which either is online or in person, you might want to sell wholesale. So this has a few advantages because you can then order quantities that are a lot higher for manufacturers, which then brings your costs down. And then you're selling larger quantities at a time to manufacturers, but at a wholesale price. So in this case, you're selling kind of quantity over amount. So you're getting a lower amount for each item, but you're moving a lot more products. So in the end, it can actually make you a lot more money. You're selling to other retailers that are going to sell their products in their stores, whether it's physical or online. And I just think it's a great additional income. It can be your only way that you're selling, but it could be a great additional way that you can also sell your product. And if you have great branding for your products and your products are like recognizable, I think that there's a lot of retailers that want to purchase your stuff because your stuff is highly desirable and it sells really well. And I think it's just another great way to build your clientele and your branding as well. Number 10 is a way that I think a lot of artists don't think about selling their art, but it's licensing your art. So whether you do fine art, illustrations, children's art, any kind, it doesn't matter what kind of art, any kind of art with any kind of medium, you can license your images to companies to put on their products. So you don't have to make any of your own products. You're just making the art. You are licensing You're basically selling the rights to someone to put your art on their products, and you would have contracts stating the kind of products they can put it on, how long they can use it for, and have agreements, which also means that you can sell your art to multiple places at any given time. So you can license your art to one company to put on their mugs, and you can license the exact same art to another company to put on like children's t-shirts. You can license to another company to put on notebooks, and you can do this all at the same time. And it's a great way to build like royalties, because a lot of these products will sell for over time periods, and then you will end up getting royalties from these. The more that these products sell, the more money that you can make from them. So you can do like one-time licensing fees. You can work with royalties. You can sell outright your art, which I don't recommend. You should always keep the rights to your art. But there might be times where it makes sense to actually sell a piece of art outright. Of course, should get more money for it if you're selling it outright, because you then lose the rights to use your own artwork if you are doing that. But licensing is it's a great way to monetize your art, and you can build that portfolio up over time. So licensing is something where you can pursue companies on your own by pitching to companies with your portfolios, or you can get an art licensing agent who will then do all the legwork for you, get you the jobs, figure out the contracts, and you just create the art, and then they help you get the work. But they are going to take a good chunk of the commission for their services. So there's like a give and take there. You have to decide like what part of the job do you want to do and not want to do. If you just want to do the artwork and you're happy to spend all your time making the art, and you don't mind giving a chunk of the commission over to your agent to get the work for you, then that's a great way to go. Not everyone needs to have an agent to do licensing. You can definitely pitch yourself if you are someone that doesn't mind the additional administration of putting together your portfolios, of finding the companies whose whose products you want your art to be featured on. If you don't mind reaching out and doing the research and then emailing and all that fun stuff that is part of getting work as licensing, then you can do it yourself. So there's two different ways to do it, but it's a great additional way to bring income in from the art that you make. Okay, number 11 is illustrate for books and book covers. There's a lot of people that all they do is illustrate children's books. I think it's a hard business to kind of get into, but once I think you can get your connections in there and get some work, that you can really build up your library, so to speak, of books that you've illustrated for. And it's not just children's books you can illustrate for, but you can illustrate for things like cookbooks or how-to books, lifestyle books of any kind that might need art or illustrations inside the pages. You can also just do book covers. So any kind of novel or even nonfiction book does need art for their covers. So that's another, I think, industry that a lot of people don't think of creating art for or putting their art on. But I think it's just a great industry that you could pursue if that's something that you think might be exciting. There's definitely a lot of need for art for book covers, and as well as all the interior illustrations. So that's a great thing for you to look into as well. Number 12 would be editorial art and illustrations. So this would be any kind of standalone or maybe a collection of illustrations that they would need for magazines, whether it's online or physical magazines, or in maybe advertising or marketing. They always have a need for new art as well. So that's one industry that people can pursue, whether that's all you want to do or you want to use it as an additional income. I think it's a great way to get your art out there and get known as an illustrator or artist as well. Number 13 is teach. So once you've spent any amount of time creating art and making art and learning a lot about art, There's a lot of people that want to learn how to do it themselves and they need people to teach them. So if you're someone that enjoys teaching what you've learned to other people, there is a huge market for teaching art, especially. You could create your own courses and host them, whether they're on your own website or somewhere like Teachable, Skillshare, Domestika. If you have a specific kind of art or hobby or craft that you do, I think there's a really great market for teaching these skills. And I think there's a lot, actually, it's a great way to make income from these courses. You can also teach how to make stuff on YouTube and have, it's out there for free, but if people are watching it, you're making money from maybe ad revenue or affiliates. If you don't want to create courses, you can just teach people on YouTube. It's another great way to be creative. You're creating content, you're teaching, you're helping people. So don't forget about something like creating a YouTube channel to teach. And then the other way is also doing in-person workshops. So anyone that's in your local area that wants to learn from you in person, I think it's great to get that in-person social aspect of teaching and learning with people. I love going to in-person classes now that things have opened up again. Getting together with people in person and learning or creating something together, I think it's a great way to spend time and meet people and create new connections. So if that's something that you feel comfortable with, I think that's a great way to make some money, is from teaching your art in person and also online. Okay, number 14, the last one, would be to start a Patreon or a membership. So this is where you would have a monthly membership, people join you, and a lot of times you can have different tiers, so different dollar amounts get you access to different parts of your membership or Patreon. And I think that's a great way for people to support artists. Oh, you can do more additional like art instruction. You can send out physical rewards. You can have like live Q&As so people can have more one-on-one time with you. There's a lot of different things that you can do in a monthly membership. And I think it's a great way to build your clientele, and just, you can teach people, you can use it as ways to promote your products that you sell and your art that you sell. There's a lot of great ways if people want to, support you and get closer to you, that they can join these and just become part of your community. And I think that's a great way to, just build up your following and build up your art clientele and your brand. And there's so many different things you can do with a monthly membership that it's something that once you're ready for, it's a great thing for you to explore. So that's something that I would definitely recommend that you look into. Possibly you already belong to some other artists' memberships or communities, and so you might have an idea of how it works and what you would like to do in your own membership and grow your own community that way. So there you go. There's 14 different ways for you that you can get started to make some money from your art and your creativity. I hope that you'll try some of them, and maybe you're already doing some of them and you just needed some ideas to, add on a few more layers to your art business. I'd love to know in the comments if you actually already do any of these, or which of these ways that you are thinking of trying. I'd love to hear about it. And if you have any other ways that you can think of that I've missed that people can make money from your art, please leave it in the comments so that everybody else can get the idea as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you got some good information out of that, and we'll hope to see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.